Welcome back to Reclaimed Nature. I want to start this video with a very uncomfortable reality check. If you walked into a modern supermarket today and bought the most beautiful shiny apple on the shelf, do you know what you are actually eating? Most people see a perfect red skin and feel safe. They see freshness. They see health. But here is the brutal truth that the food industry will never tell you. You are eating a zombie. Biologically speaking, that apple was likely picked 3 months ago, or even 6 months ago. It was gassed with chemicals to stop it from ripening. It was irradiated to kill every single bacteria on its skin. It looks alive, but biologically, it is dead. It is nothing more than a sugary fiber shell with zero probiotic life. We have been conditioned to believe that fresh means hard, shiny, and spotless. We have been trained to fear anything that looks wrinkled, soft, or brown. But when it comes to true survival, nutrition, beauty is a lie. Decay is destiny. 500 years ago, Charlemagne I, Holy Roman Emperor, commanded that a specific tree be planted in every royal garden in Europe, a tree that bore fruit that looked rotten. Yet King Henry VIII devoured them at his grandest banquets, and Shakespeare wrote poetry about them. For 1,000 years, this was the most important fruit in the Western world. It was the only source of sugar and vitamin C that could survive the freezing winter. It kept entire civilizations alive when the pretty fruits had turned to mush. Today I am going to reclaim this lost treasure. I will show you why the supermarket banned it, not because it's dangerous, but because it breaks their rules. But I have to warn you, there is a fatal mistake that 90% of new foragers make when they try to eat this fruit, a mistake that will lock your throat shut and ruin the experience instantly. But don't worry. Stay until the end of this video, and I will reveal the secret golden moment to eat it for maximum healing. Because when timed perfectly, this fruit unlocks a powerful natural probiotic that can heal your gut better than any pill. And you will finally understand why King Henry VIII was obsessed with it. This is the story of the Medlar. To understand why this strange, ugly fruit was once worth more than gold, you have to turn off your refrigerator. You have to forget about strawberries in December. Go back to the Middle Ages. It is November. The harvest is over. The golden wheat is stored away. The apples have been picked weeks ago and are starting to shrivel in the cold cellar. The Starvation Months are coming. The days are short, the frost is brutal, and the world is turning gray. There is no sugar. There is no fresh vitamin C anywhere in the landscape, except for one tree. While every other fruit tree has gone dormant, dropping its leaves and surrendering to the cold, the medlar is just waking up. It is a survivor. It hangs on to its fruit through the frost, through the storms, and through the snow. For a medieval peasant staring at a long, hungry winter, this tree wasn't just food. It was a miracle. It was the only bridge of sweetness across the frozen gap of winter. It provided a burst of energy and essential vitamins exactly when the human body was at its weakest point. It was winter gold. But here is the catch, and this is where the modern mind gets confused. When you pick a medlar off the tree in late October, it looks solid. It feels hard as a rock. If you bite into it now, it is dry, acidic, and incredibly astringent. It tastes like raw alum. Most people today would take one bite, spit it out, and cut the tree down. They would assume the fruit is unripe or worse, useless. But our ancestors knew patience. They knew that nature has a secret process, a biological alchemy that turns this stone into honey. But to unlock it, you have to let the fruit do something that terrifies the modern consumer. You have to let it rot. This process is called bletting, and it is the ultimate test of your trust in nature. In the modern world, we equate soft with spoiled. If a banana has a brown spot, we throw it away. If an avocado is too squishy, we call it trash. We are obsessed with sterility. We want our food to be static, unchanging, and dead. But the medlar demands that you embrace decay. Bletting is not rotting. Rotting is caused by harmful bacteria and fungi attacking the fruit from the outside. Bletting is an internal transformation. It is enzymatic. When you harvest the hard medlars, you don't eat them. You lay them in a box of straw or sawdust in a cool place, and you wait. You wait for weeks. Inside the fruit, a miraculous chemical reaction is happening. Enzymes are breaking down the hard astringent cell walls. They are converting complex starches and tannins into simple sweet sugars. The fruit turns dark brown. The skin wrinkles. It begins to look like a baked apple that has been left out too long. To the untrained eye, it looks ruined. But biologically, this is when the fruit comes alive. While the zombie apple in the supermarket is sterile and empty, a bletted medlar is exploding with life. It is rich in pectin, antioxidants, and prebiotic fibers that feed the good bacteria in your gut. It transforms from a hard stone into a custard-like paste that tastes like cinnamon apple butter mixed with fine wine. It is nature's dessert, but you only get to taste it if you are willing to look past the ugly surface. So if this fruit is so delicious and so nutritious, why did it disappear? Why have you never seen it in the grocery store? The answer is simple. The medlar has one fatal flaw. It cannot be industrialized. The modern food system is not built for flavor. It is built for logistics. It is built for stackability and shelf life. Supermarkets need fruits that can be picked unripe gassed, stored in massive warehouses for months, and then stacked 10 feet high without bruising. They need fruits that look uniform, shiny, and hard. The medlar breaks every one of these rules. When a medlar is ready to eat, when it is bletted and sweet, it is soft. It is fragile. You cannot stack it. You cannot ship it across the country in a truck. If you squeeze it, it bursts. And visually, it looks like a brown, mushy mess. It doesn't look pretty under the fluorescent lights of the produce aisle. So the industry made a choice. They decided that efficiency was more important than nutrition. They decided that appearance was more important than taste. They couldn't figure out how to monetize the medlar, so they erased it. They stopped planting the trees. They stopped teaching people how to eat it. And within 2 generations, a fruit that fed kings for 1,000 years was forgotten. They traded winter gold for a plastic-wrapped apple that tastes like cardboard. But the trees are still out there. In old hedgerows, in forgotten corners of ancient gardens, they are waiting. And now that you know the truth, it is time to reclaim them. Planting a medlar tree today is an act of rebellion. It is a way to secure a source of winter energy that requires no electricity, no preservation, and no permission from the grocery store. But wait, here is the secret I promised you. Remember, I told you this fruit could heal your gut. When the medlar undergoes bletting, it doesn't just create sugar. The enzymatic breakdown produces a massive amount of pectin and natural organic acids. In the stomach, this specific type of high-quality pectin acts as a powerful prebiotic. It feeds the beneficial lactobacillus bacteria in your gut, reducing inflammation and regulating digestion. Medieval doctors prescribed medlar paste to cure dysentery and strengthen the stomach lining. It is literally a natural medicine cabinet hidden inside a fruit. But to get this medicine, you must avoid the amateur mistake. Do not eat the skin, and do not eat the seeds. The seeds contain small amounts of hydrocyanic acid, similar to apple seeds but stronger, and the skin, even when bletted, can be tough and bitter. Here is the golden moment technique used by medieval gourmets. Wait until the fruit is completely brown and soft to the touch like a ripe fig. Pick it up gently by the stem. Bite off the top, the crown, or peel back a small piece of skin. Then squeeze the fruit from the bottom, pushing the pulp up into your mouth. Suck out the sweet, spicy custard and spit out the stones. It's primal, it's messy, and it is absolutely incredible. When you do this, you aren't just eating fruit. You are tasting the same flavor that Charlemagne tasted. You are connecting with a lineage of survival that kept your ancestors alive through the darkest winters. You are eating the past to survive the future. If you are ready to plant winter gold in your garden, or if you want to see more forgotten foods reclaimed, hit the like button. Subscribe to Reclaimed Nature because the supermarket shelves are fragile, but nature is eternal. And tell me in the comments, would you be brave enough to eat a rotten fruit to survive? Type yes or no. Knowledge is not lost. It is simply waiting for you to remember.